AfricaSan movement is an initiative of the African Ministers' Council on Water dedicated to sanitation and hygiene development in Africa. But what is sanitation, you may ask? The AfricaSan movement defines sanitation as a large-scale, sustainable and effective work that improves sanitary and hygienic living conditions at home, school and in public places. In general, safe sanitation is more than cleanliness or providing safe on-site toilets and sewage systems. It is the foundation of health and dignity. Imagine a world where these essentials are a fundamental right, not a luxury. Yet, shockingly, according to 2022 Africa Water and Sanitation Sector Report, over 400 million people in Africa lack access to potable water. Approximately 800 million people don't have access to safely managed sanitation and basic hygiene services. And 18% still practice open defecation. The consequences? A dire situation where waste contaminates our environment, resulting in outbreak of preventable diseases like cholera, diarrhea and stunting. It's crucial to realize that a single gram of waste can harbor millions of harmful bacteria and viruses. Creating a world where no one is forced to live in a polluted environment isn't merely a challenge, it's a shared responsibility. AfricaSan is not just an initiative, it's a movement towards a cleaner and healthier Africa. It's about building sustainable sanitation systems, empowering communities with knowledge on safe sanitation and hygiene, and ensuring no one is left behind. The birth of AfricaSan. It all began in Johannesburg in 2002 when 150 visionaries gathered, setting the stage for the AfricaSan movement. The event was chaired by His Excellency Ronnie Kasrils, the then Minister of Water Affairs and Forestry, Republic of South Africa. Their goal? To accelerate the progress of sanitation and hygiene work in Africa under the Millennium Development Goals (MDGs) and the aims of the New Partnership for Africa's Development (NEPAD). This singular event laid the foundation for the UN to adopt a specific Millennium Development Goal target on sanitation. AfricaSan's mission. AfricaSan is driven by the need to assess the state of sanitation and hygiene in Africa, sharing experiences and lessons learned by people and organizations working in the sector, to raise the profile of sanitation and hygiene in Africa, and to strengthen leadership and advocacy for improved sanitation and hygiene. The series so far. First was in Johannesburg, themed high-level political support for sanitation, with 11 countries and 150 participants attending the first AfricaSan conference in 2002. Second, in Durban, themed continent-wide assessment towards achieving the Sanitation Millennium Development Goal (MDG). 100 countries and 600 participants were recorded in the second AfricaSan conference in 2008. Third, in Kigali, with the theme Consolidate the Growth of the AfricaSan Movement, 67 countries and 900 participants were present at the third AfricaSan conference in 2011. Fourth, in Dakar, 2015, themed Making Sanitation for All a Reality in Africa. 82 countries and 800 participants were present in 2015 at the fourth AfricaSan conference. Fifth, in Cape Town, 2019, themed Transforming Sanitation in Africa, Accelerating Progress towards the UNGOR commitments to achieve the SDGs. 82 countries and 1,300 participants were present in 2019 for the fifth AfricaSan conference. Sixth was a virtual conference in 2021 themed Accelerating Access to Safe Sanitation and Hygiene in Africa at SDG +5 and COVID-19 era. 103 countries and 3,196 participants. A shared vision. From the outset, AfricaSan's vision was clear. Governments leading sanitation with the involvement of multiple partners, including the private sector, civil society, research institutions, and development agencies. The AfricaSan Awards. AfricaSan recognizes outstanding efforts through the AfricaSan Awards. These awards celebrate individuals and organizations making tangible impacts on sanitation and hygiene across the continent. The AfricaSan International Task Force. Driving the AfricaSan movement is the AfricaSan International Task Force, established in 2015. It serves as the think tank for AfricaSan, focusing on advisory, monitoring and evaluation processes to ensure that AfricaSan continues to fulfill its function for years to come. AfricaSan's impact. AfricaSan has left an indelible mark over the years. The Evening Declaration, endorsed by the AU, the Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration and the Ngor Declaration have all shaped the sanitation landscape in Africa, aligning with the Sustainable Development Goals. The theme and sub-themes of AfricaSan conferences reflect the state of sanitation and hygiene on the continent. We have a long way to go in achieving universal access to adequate and equitable sanitation. With AfricaSan supplying the momentum, our aspirations can be achieved, leaving no one behind.